ओवरले करना. Namaste, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Ram to one and all. The last show we done with the World Hindu Pandit Organization, and it was on the Pitru Paksh, Shraddha Paksh, and it's supported by the community in a big number. It was two and a half thousand or 2.5K people watch in a different country of the world. Once again, we came with the initiative Dharma Samvad, where all the different kind of issue, cultural, whether religious, we're gonna highlight and reach out to the community. They said the truth don't have to say loudly, and sometimes they said the untruth have to be said loudly and again and again. But today, friends, things are different. Today, untruth can be written in the social media and silently post and is go to the millions people without any verification. Therefore, I think social media also used for the right way, use with the right way, and that is the right way which is I talk about Dharma Samvad. Every week we will bring the different people, religious leader, community people, and some issue like as at present going on Shraddha Paksha, which is we take. Then the next one, Adhik Mas. And of course, at present we are in the Heritage Month. For the Heritage Month, we have asked few Shakti, Nari Shakti from the community to come and use this platform and then speak about our culture. In our scripture, they said, Mata Prathamo Guru, the mother is the first teacher who plant the seeds of the culture in the children's mind. Therefore, Culture and Heritage Day is the right person or right people are the women, Nari Shakti, to bring them few sisters from the community, and then one of our team member from the Dharma Samvad. Yatra Narya Pujyante Tatra Ramanti Devta. In our scripture said that where is the Nari, the Shakti respected, where the Bhagavan blessing are there. Therefore, not taking long, and first our Dharma Samvad talk, we ask our first panelist, and she is also hosting this show, our very own loving Yashika Ben. Yashika Ben, no need any introduction, as Yashika Ben is well known in our community. She is very helpful, and I know Yashika Ben from the very long time. Yashika Singh is the head of religion at the public broadcaster at the SABC. That's how I met our Yashika Benji first time in Port Elizabeth, where she put me on a map and took me to the SABC TV. Thanks, I owe that. And she has also worked in broadcasting for 24 years. She has produced, directed, and commissioned many international award-winning films. She has traveled extensively for the SABC, attending several film festivals where she has presented paper and film for selection and awards. Yashika Singh managed all religious content for the SABC from the all faiths and traditions, found in Asia and globally. In the new democracy, minority faiths were recognized in the constitution of the country, and therefore she rep the public service. With that, Yashika Ben also is leading World Hindu Foundation. And as I said earlier, this is the time where all the Hindu organizations loudly have to speak about our greatness of our dharma and reach out to the community. Awareness is very, very important. and therefore we're doing the weekly show to bring awareness in our community. Not taking long, because today is not my show, but the Nari Shakti, all the Beno will be take over the stage, and I hand over to my sister Didi Shri Yashika Benji. Yashika Ben, namaste.
Namaste, Panditji. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I think it's a wonderful time that we are meeting today in our country and also globally to all the citizens that are watching us today to celebrate what is very unique in our lives, and that is our heritage.
Ji. So I hand over to you. This the whole show is you running, and you call your next panelist. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, welcome everybody. Today we have a splendid show for you. We have many women from the community who have been part and parcel of the growth of South Africa in this new democracy of ours. I have with me today the panelist Usha Devi Shuklaji. She has been, she's a doctor in Hindi literature. She's been my teacher and guru for many years. And she's also been involved with community work. She was the president of the Hindi Shiksha Sangh in South Africa. And her whole life has been the journey of celebrating the Hindi language in South Africa and abroad. Usha Ben, welcome to the show today. Usha Ben, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, now, yeah. I just wanted to welcome you to our show and to say, just to share with us just a little bit about yourself before I introduce the other guests.
Okay, namaste and my naman to Panditji and to all of you. I am Usha Shukla. I've got a PhD in Hindi from the University of UKZN. I'm now retired from the university. I've been teaching Hindi most of my life. Once it stopped at the university, I continued in the community, was with the Hindi Shiksha Sangh right until 2018, was the president there from 2016 to 2018. And I have done research on Ramcharitmanas and its impact in South Africa and in the diaspora.
Wonderful. I think that's just a summary of who you are, Usha Ben. I think her work in itself, not just from an academic perspective, has brought new light into understanding our scriptures, particularly the Ramcharitmanas, of which she's become a commentator of note. She's also traveled extensively delivering papers at international conferences in Hindi and around the Hindi language, as well as on the Ramcharitmanas. But more of that a little bit later. Our next guest is none other than our sister, Dharma Ben. And Dharma means waterfall. She is one of the few people that in a very difficult time was able to have a master's in geography. And it was not easy for women at the time in India to study, and also difficult in conservative homes, as we have seen over a period of time in the Indian subcontinent. Dharma Ben is also a businesswoman in South Africa, and she will share a lot with us a little bit later on the show in terms of her adaptation in the country. Dharma Ben, just share with us a little bit about yourself.
Namaste all. As Yashika Di said, my name is Jharna Dikshit, and she explained the meaning of Jharna is waterfall. And I always realized that I always believe that a lot of characteristics of waterfall are in me, like perseverance, like adapting things, like balance in the life, pride, and perseverance. I really work hard when we talk about education. I really work hard that time. it was not easy to send a daughter to hostel. I had to go to their hostel. My father helped me out. He was very good in that, and he sent me to college. I did my master's in geography. Then adapting things. Like we came to South Africa in 2000. It was totally different country, totally different language, totally different culture. But here we are.
Absolutely, absolutely.
The-
Thank you so much. I think your name in itself is perseverance. Your name in itself is dedication. Your name in itself is beauty. Just like, as you said, the waterfall embodies this flow of life. And you certainly are that. We thank you so much for being with us on the show today. I will be
Thank
taking
you.
all of you through some questions, but I will introduce the context in a short while. The next guest we have is our sister, whose name for me exemplifies the term just. And her name is Raksha Semnarayan Singh. She has been a stalwart in the liberation movement in this country. She's fought against many obstacles. She's a commercial lawyer by profession today, but notwithstanding that, she has studied in several fields in the field of law and justice, space law being one of them. And I would love to have her with us today on the show, where she's going to share a little bit about the issues around how South African Hindus have triumphed over great adversity in our democracy. But more to just share a little bit more about Raksha Ben. Raksha ji, are you here? Perhaps tell us a little bit more about yourself that we don't know.
Namaste, and thank you for this opportunity. I really feel privileged. I feel like a daughter of South Africa, and my spiritual motherland is Bharat. I've been involved in Hindu organizations, and my love for Hindu work stems for its roots with justice, truth, and dharma. And my association with law was born through my Hindu work because with Yashika Didi, I and other fellow Hindu workers, we were giving input into the constitution of the country. And there I saw that the hand that writes the law is very powerful. So I got into regulatory drafting of legislation, and that has become my passion and my career. So I believe Hinduism is a way of life, and I believe that we have a big role to play to transform individuals so that they become strong assets of society. And recently, I'm a mother of, not recently, I'm an old mother now of two teenagers, and that has taught me to calm down as well, and and that you've always learning in life. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Rakshaben. We'll come to you just now, and we will be able to share a little bit more in terms of the actual program today. We have one more guest, and that's Neelamji. And Neelamji has also been, just like Jarna, coming into South Africa very recently. She's the editor of Dharma Samvad, which is the channel that we are on at the moment. And I think it's phenomenal that a woman that has come through into South Africa and has achieved so much also none other than the Dharam Patni ji of our Kirit Bhai Acharya ji, who is the resident priest in South Africa, but he's also in charge of the World Pandit organization as well. In fact, Panditji's accolades go a long way, but I'm sure it is not possible without the Dharam Patni in his life. Neelamji, can you share a little bit about yourself before I go into the reason why we are here today?
Hey, Jai Shri Ram. Welcome to one and all. Myself Neelam. As Ben said, I'm Dharma Patni of Kirit Bhai Acharya. So, uh, first of all, I just want to give my little introduction. I'm basically from India. My study and everything I done in India. And 2005, we moved to South Africa with my small daughter. And that time, I got small daughter, I was like very worried how I gonna cope with new country, new people, new environment with a small child. And we never know about anything this country, but slowly we'll adapt this new environment, new place, and we learn lots of new things. And I can say this is wonderful country where any culture, any religion can grow one strength to strength.
Absolutely. I think so too. Thank you so much. So, you see, we have a wealth of wonderful women on this program. And the reason why we are here today is to remember our heritage. And our heritage comes in different facets. Our heritage reflects our spirituality, it reflects our art and culture, it reflects our scriptures, it reflects the way we do things today from a point of view of cooking and drama, etc., etc. So we are here to celebrate what is called a garland of light, and a garland of light has been a theme that has come from the World Hindu Foundation. And I'm just going to share something with you. Let's see if we can do this. So basically, yeah, let's see why we can do this one. Right. Um, it has been a celebration of the 160 years of the indenture of the Indians, of the arrival of the Indians to South Africa. And this particular program, which is called a garland of lights, it means that it's bringing together the lights or the contribution of the Indians who arrived in this country. When they arrived here, it was very difficult conditions. They arrived with scripture in one hand and a will to survive in the other. And these two combined made them to be strong natives of this particular country in the southernmost tip of Africa. Nobody would ever dream to come outside of Bharat at the time when Bharat was going through its own difficulties, its own challenges under the British rule. But unfortunately, due to those particular circumstances, these people who were freedom fighters in India were put into these ships and arrived to this country. And today, 160 years later, we want to celebrate their stories, their anecdotes, and we also want to challenge society in terms of how they have treated their women, how they have treated their children, and how they have contributed at the end of the day to a legacy that should be remembered. Many communities around the world, like the Jewish community, have also been through difficulties, but they have captured their stories and they've made their stories alive through celebrations like these. I want to put this challenge to the country today to say, share your stories. And during the program, I will give you the Gmail address where you can send your information through, as well as the World Hindu Foundation Facebook page. If you scroll through your Facebook pages, I'm sure all of you are on Facebook right now. You'll be able to see what I'm talking about. But at the same time, I want the beautiful Naris today to share this aspect of our lives and how they've adapted to South African society when they have come from abroad. To kick off the discussions, I have Professor Usha Ji, who we've just met a little earlier, who will share a little bit about the history of indenture and how they actually arrived in this country. It was no easy task when they came here. And, being together in ship and in very, very challenging circumstances, the Hindus had to either adapt or they had to leave. And those were some of the difficult times that they had to endure. So, Professor Shuklaji, can you share with us a little bit about the history of how our forefathers came to this continent? Professor, are you there? Okay, we'll cross to her address now in a little while. There must be some technical difficulties. I would then like to go a little bit to our sister Jarna Ben, who is from India originally. And as she said, she came to this country not knowing much of the culture, not knowing much of the language. And today she's been successful in having a business. She also has two beautiful sons. They've all grown up. Young boys who have followed the principles and the heritage of Hindu Dharma even in this land. Jafna Ben, how difficult it was for you to adapt to South African conditions?
Actually, I cannot say it was difficult. Yes, some challenges were there, but as a language challenge, and when we came, we didn't know the culture, what are our limitations, and yes, there were some challenges, but I feel like South Africa was a bit accepting country. They were South Africa accept everyone. They welcome everyone. So with that welcoming atmosphere, and plus being in a Sangh, as Sangh teaches to adapt any circumstances, anywhere you go, you just have to adapt everything around you. So it helped me a lot, and it was not difficult to establish myself in this country. And then we became friend with other people, and people start giving us their help, their support, and here we are. Everything was not that smooth, but not difficult.
Excellent. And I think the learnings
Yeah.
that you had being a Sevika Samiti and coming from that background of the RSS, which is known in India as the Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh and the Rashtriya Sevika Samiti. Outside of India, it is known as the Hindu Sevika Samiti or Sangh. And so those
Yes.
principles must have been very important for you growing up. Can you share one or two qualities that you learned from Sangh that helped you?
See, I entered in Sangh. I can say I opened my eyes in Sangh family. And when we were very small, my father used to take me to Sangh programs, and from there it was in our life. In our life, it became my life. That's how we should work. That's how we should behave. Like take everyone. You cannot go alone. You have to take everyone around you with. You have to take everyone with you. You should not go alone. Who cannot leave anyone behind. There is no caste. There is no lower and upper class. There is we never knew these things in our Sangh teachings. So that's a very important thing I learned. Then I learned how to stand firm for your values, and how to fight for the justice. You cannot close your eyes and think that you are safe. If there is a problem, then you have to fight for that. So few of those things, and then how to build to come with the community, take the community with you. That's what we learn in Sangh.
Excellent.
Like when we came here, actually I want to share something. When we came to South Africa, that time Holi and Diwali was not celebrated in a way the way we celebrate now. Or maybe we were not involved in that in these festivals that much, but that's how we used to know. That I'm talking about 20 years back when we came to South Africa. People used to come to our house and give us sweetmeats and happy Diwali, and in the night we just used to put diyas and do prayer, and that's it. That's the Diwali. We never knew, and we came from India. In India, we celebrate Diwali whole of the community. So it was very weird for us that is it that's it? Is this the Diwali? And now look where we are. We are celebrating Diwali in a big way, big bang, and the same goes with Holi. Holi, we cannot even imagine celebrating Holi without community. And here we are celebrating Holi with whole of the community. And yeah, time is changing. Our what I'm feeling that with the time in South Africa also, we Hindus are getting recognized.
Absolutely. Very good point.
Yeah,
Excellent.
the way I can see 20 years back, the way we were uh, treated, we were being treated that time, and the way we are standing right now, quite firm, quite strong, and our voice is heard. Voice is getting heard. So
Excellent.
it's yeah, that's the change, and I can see being from the Sangh Parivar. That's how I feel that's how I'm getting it in very positive way. That yes, there are chances that we will be more and more progressive.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. That's so heartfelt to know, and also to know the discipline and training that comes from being in an organization. Usha Ben, are you back with us?
I think no.
Ah, okay. I wonder what's happening. All right. I'll go to to Raksha Ben. Raksha Ben, you're a young person. You've seen so many changes in the country from a young person, from a young age. And things were not always rosy. Things were not easy in your own personal life to where you are today. Can you share a little bit about the journey of the democracy that we've achieved as a country? We've come a long way from the apartheid regime. We've come a long way from the British occupation of this country. And yet we are here, fifth, sixth, even seventh generation Hindu that is born here. What has been some of your observations during this time of change in the country?
Thank you, Yashika ji. For me, firstly, I'd like to start from the where we are now. We cannot take any of our liberties for granted. Um, the Indian diaspora has always been a race which has persevered but has not been given the recognition. Our forefathers have been part of have been freedom fighters. They were part of political part not they were not political at that stage, but organizations who fought for the liberty. Many have lost their lives. Our mothers and fathers in the non-formal sector went to build schools so that our children and grandchildren could be emancipated and have education. Some went to Salisbury Island and studied because there was no education offered to them. We all remember stories of going to the beach and being chased because we were not white, and there was different recreational areas that were designated for different race groups. Our mothers uh, tried to create communities where they fed the neighbors' kids, and created support. Hindi schools developed, Tamil schools developed, temples started blooming, and these became the source of comfort for the society. And where people, we had for a long while, we had some sort of distance from India because of apartheid. So, what happened was that Hindus and Indians started looking deeply and trying to hold on to their roots and their heritage. And that many uh, friends or people that come back from India are shocked to see how strong we are in our resolve for our religion, our spirituality, and our culture. So that's what happened. Many of us were part of the drafting process where we contributed to the drafting of the constitution to ensure that diversity was protected, to ensure that we would never have to fight to practice our religion. And all of that is in the constitution now. But strangely, we still have sectors of the community that see us as a weak religion and feel that they can say things that are anti-Hindu. And that's but the flip side of that is I've never seen such a resurgence of Hindus who are fighting for justice, who are claiming that this is mine, this is ours, and we won't allow ourselves to be abused because this is ours. And for a while I haven't seen that, so I feel very proud today that the work that we've done over the years, we're seeing the fruit. And this is the hope. I'll see our youth, I'll see our children that are proud to be Hindu, that are proud to wear dot, that are proud to wear their heritage. And it all comes from that deep identification with Atman. And that I'm grateful to God for, and I'm grateful to our forefathers because we didn't curl up and die when we could have.
Absolutely. That's so well said, and taking into the absolute present space. In fact, I'm going to come back to that because in South Africa, there's a question around what is tolerance, what is tolerable tolerance, and what is acceptance. And before I get into that debate, I'm going to ask Professor Shuklaji, because she's back with us, to share with us just a little bit. Let's go back in time. When the arrival of the Hindus came in here, things were not always easy for them. They worked in the sugarcane plantations. They were not tradespeople, and they didn't. And trades came much later, and they were not always literate, but they had something in their hearts, and that was the knowledge and values of Sri Rama. Usha Ben, can you share with us just some gems of some of those moments in our history? Usha Ben, are you with us? Namaste, Usha Ben, are you there? I think there's still a technical issue with Usha Ben. Usha ji, are you there? All right. I'll maybe just give.
Namaste all. Can you hear me?
Yes, namaste.
Am I
Welcome.
audible? Yes.
Yes.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, we can.
Are you okay? Usha
No,
Ben, are you back?
I think it's technical difficulties.
Yeah, because we can hear her. I think she can't hear us for some reason.
Yeah.
All right. Let's just go on a little bit. And I'm so liking the input that is coming today. Neelam ji, you are in South Africa. You've been here for quite a while. You said you came into this country, with your little daughter, and you were not sure how you were able to adapt. Do you think that in society today, women, Hindu women, have the opportunity to make changes? Previously, it was very, very difficult for Hindu women to even do puja, to even consider reading some of our scriptures, etc., because it was always in the domain of men. How do you think women have changed today and have adapted?
First of all, I just want to say something about our Hindu religion. Everybody knows that Hindu religion is the most oldest religion in the world. And just a religion, it's just a science. Everything behind Hindu religion is something, is a specific reason. Like why we doing fasting, why we doing yoga, why we doing the dot, why we doing the aarti, why we doing the namaskar, everything. Everything is specific reason behind that. And in our Hindu religion, you say the like a vital role of woman as a like a mother is very important because you can see our any devta, any god, they always in a with Lakshmi Narayan, like we can say with their wife, or they having a special value for the woman. Mother Shakti is very important. We do the 9 days fast for the Ma Shakti, and the slok is also for that, like Yadevi Sarvabhutesu Sakti Rupena Sanstita Namastasyai 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 Namo Nama. So in our religion, woman is very important. They say man is not complete without woman. So like in our household, like as a like a mother or woman, they teach small little things to their children, and they bring the values in the house. uh, to a child start school like maybe 5 years, 6 years, or maybe 7 years nowadays. But before that, mother is the prathamo guru, and nourishing child and teach them about our religion, our culture, and the basic value. So in our Hinduism, uh, Nari Shakti is very important. They playing very vital role, and I can say like as a priest's wife, since like I married, I see lot many changes when we came here. That time it was totally different, and now after 15 years is very different. Like when I came that time, like they used to like we used to think that we from India, so we little different. But after a while now people notice us, and now how we celebrate our festival used to celebrate in India.
Hi.
uh,
I'm having
10 years
I'm
before it was different, now it's totally different. Like many and many number of people join, and they like Hindu now awake about their religion, about their culture, and then now they're growing more and more.
Yes,
So it's a big change,
absolutely.
and people noticing now, people noticing in
Yes,
even India also, you can see it's a big changes about people know about their value and the Hinduism.
absolutely. Do you think, and I'm putting it to the panel, do you think that the resurgence in Hindu society is due to some of the work of Prime Minister Narendra Modi? And do you think that the resurgence is that for the first time, there's a sense of self confidence in the Hindu in Africa, South Africa, United States, and in India? Rakshaben.
Um, I think Prime Minister Modi has contributed to that because he has boldly brought us and has stated that we all are part of the Indian diaspora. So he's ignited a kind of confidence. But I have to say as well that the light never died. There was always the light burning, and our love for our motherland, our love for our Hindu gods, our Hindu culture, and our Matrabhumi.
Absolutely. I think that's well put, Rakshaben. Jannaben, what do you feel? Do you think that some of the projects that Prime Minister has ignited in India, especially around women empowerment, as well as the projects on Swachh Bharat to clean up India and to create a new face of India to the rest of the world, do you think that has contributed in lifting the confidence in the Hindu?
See, Yashika Di, there is a saying in Hindi, जिस देश का राजा कमजोर होता है उस देश को भगवान बचाए, लेकिन जिस देश का राजा मजबूत होता है उस देश की प्रजा भी आत्मविश्वास से भरी होती है. Means, if I think you can understand that.
Yes.
Means if the king of the country is powerful, then the whole of the country feel powerful and feel confident and full of energy. And I think that's what is happening. I remember the previous, okay, I shouldn't say that, but I remember the previous prime ministers, it was like people used to ask, when we came to South Africa, some people used to ask us, so what is the new scam in India today? And it was so shameful for us that people are asking, okay, there was new scam daily. And now from the time Prime Minister Modi came, we feel like it's my country.
Absolutely.
And that's totally different, and it changed a lot. It changed a lot in all over the world. Yes.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I'll come to Neelam ji just now. I see Usha Ben back. Usha Ben, are you here with us?
I think
there's
she
a
cannot hear
difficulty in the mic. Yeah. Usha Ben, can you see us? Namaste. Namaste.
I think she has a problem with mic.
Yeah. I wonder. I've asked our.
Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste, Usha Ben. Can you hear me? Usha Ben, can you hear me? Namaste.
I hope I am this time and the Wi-Fi doesn't trouble. Can you hear me?
All right. Yes, we can hear you. Right. Usha Ben, can you share with us?
I can see all of you. I can see all of you. Namaste. Can I speak?
Namaste. Yes, please.
Okay. Namaste. Okay. Just to give you a very quick outline of, the indentured Indians. Okay. They arrived in, we are the, yes. Share what with you? Namaste.
Namaste.
Okay. I say we are the descendants of the indentured Indians. They were called Girmitias who came in 1860. And when they left Bharat, they didn't know what and how difficult life is going to be like in South Africa. They crossed the Kala Pani and they came into an unknown land amongst people of all languages and cultures. In very harsh circumstances, it was natural that they would feel, they would hanker for India. But what happened was the only solace was from the Ramcharitmanas of Tulsidas ji, because they understood the scripture. Even if they didn't have copies, they had brought the dohas and chopais in their hearts. And we must give credit to the very, very powerful oral tradition that helps them to adapt in a new land. And they knew the stories not only of the Ramayana but of the Mahabharata as well. Unlike the other scriptures, the Ramayana of Tulsidas was written in a language they could understand. And therefore, they got together for satsangs after a day's work, hard work. They would toil in the coal mines and in the sugarcane fields. And they would then come back. There's no entertainment. So they would come back, sit under trees and reminisce about Bharat. And through the Ramcharitmanas, through the dohas, through the chopais. And even when they did their work through the day, they did it, as if they were saying, Ram ka naam liye ja aur apna kaam kiye ja. So Ram was very much a part of their lives because they had come from an area from Uttar Pradesh and Bihar where Tulsidas ji himself had disseminated his Ram Bhakti amongst the people. So it is wonderful to know that the Ramcharitmanas, in the Ramcharitmanas, you find Tulsidas ji's absolute bhakti to God in the form of Ram, as well as his views on ethical, moral, political, social, and other aspects of life. This is what gave us our grounding. This is what gave us our values. This is what gave us our samskars. And this is what kept us in touch with our dharma. Not having anything Indian didn't stop anybody following Sanatan Dharma from doing their puja and practicing their religion. So they would use even Surya Bhagwan to do their prayer in the morning and in the evening. And that was until they had received enough material to continue their practices in South Africa. It's wonderful to know that finally they built temples, and over the decades, Ramayana satsangs became very, very popular. And they didn't only teach Ramayana, they also had discussions on Mahabharata and on the Gita and other scriptures, because they knew them by heart. They may not have had the scriptures in book form in those days, but over the years, education became the life changer, and both women and men were educated, and Ramayana satsangs continued right up to present day. Ramayana satsangs are a constant. Go anywhere in South Africa and you'll still find that Ramayana satsangs disseminate knowledge. Apart from the Ramayana, they also have, they celebrate Gita Week and all the other festivals. So this has continued. I think that Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha is what we need to do. And our the descendants of the indentured Indians, all of us included, we have kept our dharma going, so much so that there's a very strong Indian presence in South Africa, even up to date. And I think that we should value that. And I feel that we all should become Hanumans and try and continue the Hindu work. Hanumanji never stopped until his work for Sri Ram was done. And he still continues today. So our duty is to be as responsible as all the good characters of the Ramayana would be, and of course the other scriptures, so that we can become a force to reckon with. I think somebody mentioned that we're not strong enough. We need to make ourselves strong enough. We need to follow the teachings of our scriptures, of the Ramayana, to move forward and do what is necessary. I'm sorry, I might have spoken a little too much, but it's because, of the Wi-Fi problems that I thought I'd say more. I'd like to just say that it is the Ramayana which has actually helped to perpetuate Hindu Dharma in the early days, but it has now continued with other scriptures as well. We have the Vedas, we have the Mahabharata, together with Ramayana, the Gita, and we don't fall short, because now we have translations that help us move forward. So much now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so glad we could hear you. Are you able to still hear us? Okay. I think we'll bring her in just now. I think what Professor Usha Shukla just shared was absolutely profound, in the sense that the two scriptures, or the main scriptures that followed the Hindu community in this country, was the Bhagavad Gita as well as the Ramayana. And it was the folk songs, it was the folk music that kept the community alive. In fact, there's a beautiful, I've been involved in broadcasting, and I was working with the Andhra community. Do you know that during the Pavali, when the indentured laborers were here, they were not able to make the clay lamps in KZN because the sand was very different to that in India. So what they did, they took the sugarcane sticks and created torches, and they lit rows of torch lights in the dark sugarcane fields to celebrate the coming of Lord Rama in their lives. So they were able to adapt, to the situation. One of the other beautiful stories was the Ram Bhajana. Ram Bhajana is not just the singing of the Ram song, but it was rather the dancing and the chanting around the Kalpa Vriksha. Kalpa Vriksha in Sanskrit is the wish fulfilling tree. So after the harvest of the sugarcane fields, they were also happy because they would be getting some accommodation, they'll be getting some little privilege because remember, they lived in slave like conditions. They were not given the best of privileges. And many of them who came had a slave number. In fact, a lot of people ask me, what is the ship number that your great great grandparents had? And it was more like a slave number. They were not known by their names like Mr. Singh or Mr. Maharaj or Mr. Naidu, but rather by a number. To that extent, their dignity was taken away from them. But in spite of that, as Professor Usha Shuklaji said, they were kept together. They kept together because of the gems of the Ramayana and the beautiful stories of Sri Hanumanji, and also, the stories of Sri Krishna. Raksha Ben, I just wanted to ask you, in this climate, in terms of how we are living today, the issue of tolerance and the issue of tolerable tolerance is a huge one. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Yadha yadha hi dharmasya glanhir bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam jameham. So whenever and wherever there's a decline in religious practice, I manifest myself. And we've seen the remnants of Lord Krishna's word in South Africa in the fight against injustice. What do you feel today when, for example, the Hindus are prevented from even lighting agarbatti or having agni in their homes? I'd like to hear your opinion, and I'd also like that from Neelamji as well.
So it is clear the law protects us through its rights, which says that there should be no discrimination, there is a respect for religious practices, and there should be diversity should be respected, right? And all religious practices. So legally, should not be allowed. And remember, you can't create rules that violate the constitution. So although in our religion we are tolerant, we must stand up for any form of injustice. And this injustice doesn't allow me to do havan or light an agarbatti, but it allows my neighbor to do to burn meat and emanate smoke. So it's a complete violation of my rights, and we must stand up together and fight for these injustices. I just want to bring it back to what Usha ji and you spoke about, in case I don't get a chance before. So world over, there are studies that are being done on how traits of our nation throughout history are carried through, and how we need to take the positives of those to resolve issues of today. What are the key traits that our forefathers have given us as a gift? Tenacity, fighting for dharma and truth. Number 2, putting the needs of society before your own needs, right? Being tolerant but not being abused. So these are the things that we need to rise above the social injustices against Hindus, against our people. In times of economic crisis, we need to mentor each other, pull people up together, help each other, and we have it in us. We must just find it. And like Swami Vivekananda says, stop not till the goal is reached. And we need each other, because if we allow one form of injustice, we as a society are a threat. Our religion is a threat, because then we become the target and we become a minority religion, and no matter all the rights that we fought for that are in the constitution becomes irrelevant.
Thank you very much for sharing that. Neelamji, do you think that the Hindu woman has a role to play in terms of standing up against all these injustices and standing together to share their knowledge with the rest of society?
Ben, I can't hear you.
Do you think the Nari Shakti, the power of the Nari Shakti in Hinduism, is important to educate other members of our society so that other people understand us better and therefore they will be more tolerant and accepting? What is your view
Of
on that?
course. Of course, Nari, woman plays very vital role in any community, especially our Hindu community. They are very respectful. They are very respectful. And first of all, I just want to say about this Dharma Samvad. Why we have an idea to start it, and why why it means what's a necessity. See, we from India and we staying in South Africa, and after like a 10, 15 years, we see this is nice country, still here maybe local South African Indian maybe having the fourth or fifth generation, still they having their strong hold in their culture. They believe in Hindu religion. They believe in their values, their festivals, everything they're doing. But this Dharma Samvad means to bring more awareness about our religion, about our culture, about our vast culture, and especially for our young generation. Because maybe the forefathers, they know their language, they can read the Ramayana, they read the Bhagavad so for them it's very difficult to read because it's so many Vedas and Puranas they cannot read, and they don't have even time because of this today's very hectic busy schedule. That's why sometimes in our mandir we notice when small children come, they talk about Ganesh ji, that is like elephant god, or like a Hanuman ji is said the monkey god. So this Dharma Samvad is that to bring awareness in our small children, our young generation, so they know our religion, our culture better way, easy way. And so like this social media, we can expand and extend our religion easily, and we connect the globe internationally easily. So we sitting here and so many other people may be listening us, so they can get some more information, they can share their ideas to us. So this way we can connect more and more people.
Excellent.
This is the main idea to open one platform like this. There's like a Jai Ho. There is another platform that is
Nilamji,
our
we just
Hindu is
got
the
a few
messenger.
minutes. Thank you so much, Neelamji. We just got a few minutes because I think the timing, but I think it's an excellent idea for you to actually share this platform on so many levels and to encourage conversation around issues happening in the Hindu community. Because of time, I'm going to go to Jarna Ben for just to round up some of the important thoughts that we've shared today, how our heritage has helped us to become stronger, to become better citizens in our lives. And I would like to also go to Usha ji if her mic has, is working at the moment. Janabin, last point.
The value of ladies in the family, I think moms are the first person to teach things. So we teach our kids how to respect and how to respect the society, how to respect the like my boys. I always teach them how to respect the ladies. We cannot always ask ladies not to wear this, not to do this, not to do this. Why don't we teach our boys how to see ladies with the respect?
Yes.
And that's our heritage. That's our culture. That
Very good.
our Ma Sita is not single. She's always with the with Bhagwan Ram. But Bhagwan Ram is incomplete without her. and we don't see we don't see our devis without with all that disrespect. Then why we see our girls with that bad intention? If we are not teaching our kids how to behave in society, how to behave with our fellow nations, with our fellow citizens, then it's useless to talk two big things that we can change the world and we can change. No, we have to change our family. We have to put right way in our kids' mind. We have to teach them, and I think it's we can teach them how to behave like this, and then everybody will be happy and there will be no problems. And that's our culture, that's our heritage.
Very, very much. I think they were beautiful, profound moments. We actually should have more engagement of these very sessions. And I'd like to thank Rakshaben, Ushaji, Nilamji, and Panditji for allowing us this opportunity to be together. Ushaben, I'm so sorry about the sound, but I hope you were able to follow through.
Can I say something very?
Yes, please, yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to very quickly say that we get our spiritual sustenance, we derive it from Bharat, right? And I believe and I maintain that Bharat is our spiritual motherland. Even though we're born here, but our spirituality comes from Bharat. And this reminds me of a beautiful saying in one of the Sanskrit Ramayans, which says, Janani Janma Bhumishcha Swaragadapi Gariyasi. That is, that the mother and the motherland are even greater than heaven. And now we are very eagerly waiting for the construction of the Ram Janmabhoomi Mandir. In this, just in addition to that, I'd like to say that we have Ubuntu in South Africa, which says, I am because you are, which is in sync with Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world is one family. We are all intrinsically connected, right? We must see the divine in all. And Tulsidas ji says in Ramcharitmanas, Ishvara Amsha Jiva Avinashi, right? So that we're all part of that Paramatma. So we say Namaste, I bow to the divine in you, but we must learn to mean it when we say it, right? And we need to emulate the good characters of the Ramayana, of the Mahabharata, of the and the Bhagavad Gita, so that we can make this world a better place to live in, right? Because we have to show caring and concern not only for other human beings, but also for animals, nature, and the planet. So with that, I'd like to say thank you. I hope I was audible.
Yes. Thank you so much. You came through for us. I really appreciate every little gem that has come through today. I'd really like to thank all of you for celebrating this garland of lights that we have today. You are the light. You must take that light and create more light. And that's the only way our country can grow, the world can grow, and humanity can grow as well. Bahut, bahut dhanyavad. Thank you, everyone. Dhanyavad, Panditji.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us.
Namaste.
Thank you for having us.
Namaste.
Bye. Bye.
Namaste. Thanks to one and all for the
Namaste. Namaste,
participating.
Panditji.
Yashika Ben, Raksha Ben, Janna Ben ji, Nilam ji, and Usha Shukla ji. Thanks for your time. It was wonderful to start with the Shakti. And yes, we gone to 5 minutes over. But बोलते हैं ना कि 5 लोग साथ में बैठ के बात करेंगे तो बात लंबी जाएगी. So when 5 people sit together and when start to chat, there will be a long chat. But thanks, it's wonderful, all of you, for your time. Raksha Benji, I heard you first time, it was brilliant. But at the same time, Janna Benji, background of the Bharat Bhumi, and then Usha Benji, Ramcharitmanas talk. They said Bahuratna Vasundhara. The Bharat is the Ratna, the gems. It's filled with the gems, and the same gems. The genetic is in you, Yashika Ben, Raksha Ben, Usha Ben, and therefore, after the 160 years, the Bharat Bhumi or the culture of Hinduism is blooming here in South Africa. And I thanks to all the forefathers of yours, those who are uphold our dharma, our culture. And when I go to do the katha, people ask me to do katha and all. I always feel good because after 160 years, they are community where they know what is the katha and the Ramayana and like Ushaben. So it's give me as a priest, I feel so good that my community, the 160 years back, those who was here, and it is the rightly put it by the Yashika Ben. The numbers wasn't called them with the name, but given them number to call them. And from that humiliation, today we are sitting and many doctors, many engineers to produce. That is achievement of the forefathers. And there, with that good note, yes, there is intolerance, but our voice, our spiritual power, no one can stop us. Let together continue to talk about our dharma. Let put hand together and reach out to every community members that we have to speak. We have to uphold our dharma, and then together the sarva dharma, all the religious, the organization have to be together. And agarbati nahi, bada धुआं nahi, bada bada yagna hoga, and all have to tolerate that. In that note,
Jai Ho.
namaste, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you.